Hi everybody, in this video tutorial I will show you how to make Rudolph the Reindeer mini bauble. This Christmas pattern is part of a broader series that I have featuring a number of different mini crochet ornaments. So if you're interested in any of the other ones as well, I will leave the link to the playlist in the description box below. But for now, let's go ahead and start making Rudolph the Reindeer mini bauble. To start, you will need your 3mm crochet hook. You will also need 3 different colors of yarn: red for his nose, brown and this lighter brown color for the main part of the body, and some more brown for the antlers. You will also need some safety eyes, and here I've got a pair that are 8mm in diameter. You will also need a darning needle to sew in the ends and apply the antlers. As always, a stitch marker, because this will help things out as well as you crochet your ornament, and something to cut your yarn with. You will also need some toy stuffing or yarn ends, and you will also need a bit of a ribbon, twine or other piece of yarn to create your ornament loop. And that's all you will need. So let's go ahead and start making our little ornament. Before making the main body of a reindeer, it would be good to start by making very quickly his nose. So to do that, just chain 3 and go to that first chain and make a bubble stitch. And you'll make a bubble stitch by creating essentially 5 half-finished double crochets into that same chain. So to do that, yarn over, go through that chain, pull through the loop, go through the stitch, yarn over, and go through the first 2 loops only. And repeat this a total of 5 times. Keep your tension as even as you can. And there we go. And once you have done it 5 times, you will see you have 6 loops on your hook. You'll then yarn over and pull through all of these loops. And then you'll chain 1, and leaving a bit of a tail, snip off your yarn, pull your tail through, and pull the ends together, and then make a few knots, just to give this a nice rounded shape. Like so. You can put this aside, as this will be our nose, until we're ready to use it to assemble our ornament. So now you can go ahead and make the main body of your ornament. To start, make a magic ring with your brown yarn. And in this magic ring, you will place 6 single crochets. Once you've made 6 single crochets, you will tighten the ring by pulling on this yarn end. So for your next round, you will make a round of increases, which means placing 2 single crochets in each of the previous stitches. Make sure to put your stitch marker on your first stitch of the round so you don't forget your place. And continue along this round by making 2 single crochets in each stitch, and you should have a total of 12 stitches at the end of this round. To start your third round, make an increase in the first stitch, which means 2 single crochets in one stitch, and follow that by making 1 single crochet in the next. Now go ahead and continue these sequence of stitches all around your piece. Once you've reached the end of your round, you will have 18 single crochets. I am now ready to start my round 4, so I will do that by making an increase in the first stitch, so that is 2 single crochets in the first stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next stitch and another single crochet in the stitch after that. So I will go ahead and continue making this sequence of stitches until I finish my round 4, at which point I should have 24 stitches. And then for round 5, all I would do is I will place 1 single crochet across all stitches. So go ahead, complete your rounds 4 and 5, and I will meet you right before finishing that last stitch on round 5. So here I am at the end of my round 5, and I've got 1 stitch left to make, 1 single crochet. I have gone ahead and snipped off my brown yarn because all I need to do is complete this stitch here, and then I don't need it anymore as I'll be changing colors. And to change colors, all we will do is proceed as if we're making a normal single crochet, but we will finish it off with the new color yarn. So take your light brown yarn here and just loop it over your crochet hook and pull through, and that's it. Now for your next round, for round 6, what you will do is with your new yarn, you will go and you'll make a slip stitch in the back loop only, like so. Now make sure you're not making this too tightly, as we don't want our the shape of our bubble to be altered. So just make sure you're doing this in a loose way, slip stitch as loosely as you can to imitate the tension of the previous round, like so. Now go ahead and do this all around your piece, and I will meet you at the end of our round to show you how we continue making our Rudolph the Reindeer bubble. Now I've reached the end of my round, and the first thing I want to do is secure the yarn ends where I changed colors. So what I will go ahead and do very easily is just make a little knot here in the back using the 2 strands of dark brown and light brown yarn, and just do a couple of knots just to secure it. So now I want to slip stitch or connect in the most seamless way that I can my last stitch to my first. So I'll pull my hook out of this working loop, and from the back to the front of my piece I will put my hook through this slip stitch here, like so. And then I'll make sure there's no tangles in this loop here, and I will pull the working loop to the back of my piece, like so. And then I'll do a chain 1. Like so. And now I have a fairly invisible seam here connecting those 2 slip stitches. Now for this next round, round 7, what I will do is I will go to the back loop of my slip stitches and do a single crochet, like so. And I will repeat this all across my piece. So continue doing this, and I will meet you at the end of this round. For round 8, you will simply crochet a single crochet in all the stitches. So you should finish your round and still have 24 single crochets. And from that round onwards, we will start making our decreases. So I'll go ahead and meet you at the beginning of round 9 to show you how we start making those decreases. So for round 9, we start by making a decrease. And to make a decrease, you will go through the front loop of your first stitch and the front loop of your second stitch. You will yarn over, pull through the stitch. You'll have 2 loops. You'll yarn over and pull through 2 of these loops. And that is a decrease. Remember to replace your stitch marker, and you will then go ahead and make 2 single crochets. So the first one in the next stitch and the second one in the stitch after. And you will repeat this. You will make another decrease through the front loops, followed by one and then a second single crochet all along your piece. And that will essentially decrease your stitches from 24 to 18. At the end of the round, you will then start your next round by making again a round of decreases. And for that round, you will make a decrease followed by one single crochet, and then another decrease, and then another single crochet. At the end of that next round, you will then have 12 single crochets. At that point, take a pause and we'll start assembling our ornament. So at the end of this round, you'll see that we've got 12 stitches, 12 single crochets. So it's time to start assembling our ornament. The first thing to do is to take your twine or your ribbon and make this into our ornament loop. So make a knot, like so, and make a second one to secure it. And using your hook, go through the top of your reindeer bauble and pull this through to the other side, like so. Okay. And then go to the front of your piece, so away from where your stitch marker is, as that will be the back, and find the place where you would like to put the nose, which we made earlier. I like to put it in between the join essentially of our two colors. So take a darning needle and with your one end go through the one side, and then take your other yarn end and leaving some space in between, go to the other side. And then what you can do is you can just make a knot on the inside to secure your nose. Just make sure this is quite tight so that your nose isn't droopy. And now we need to find the right placement for our eyes. So what I like to do is I like to put them just next to the nose and one row higher. So if our nose is finishing here, I'll put them one row above, like so. You can even go a bit further up and put them here if you prefer. I think I prefer this lower placement. And then do the same on the other side. And just make sure that you're happy with how they look before you go ahead and secure them in place. The next thing you want to do once your eyes are in place is to start filling your ornament. So go ahead and start putting your toy stuffing in there. And once you've added enough stuffing, you can go ahead and make the last round of decreases for the body of our Rudolph the Reindeer. And that is just making a series of decreases, so 6 decreases here. And once you've made your 6 decreases, you'll go ahead and you'll fill up your ornament a bit more, just until you're happy with how it looks. And then you'll snip off the yarn and weave in and out the remaining 6 single crochets to secure the end of your ornament. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back for making the antlers of our reindeer. To make your antlers, make a slip knot and then chain 7. Like so. In the second chain from hook, so here, make a slip stitch and then make a second slip stitch and a third one. Then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then in the second chain from hook here, make another slip stitch, make a further slip stitch, 2, three, and 4, like so. And then you will have reached the main part of your body again, or the original chain 7. And then go ahead and make slip stitches in the remaining 3 chains here. Let's do it like this. So this is our second slip stitch here, and then our third, like so. Then chain 1, and leave a bit of a yarn tail so you can sew it in place. You can use these ends to sew your antler in place, and then snip off your yarn. So that's your first antler. To make the second antler, chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then make a slip stitch in the second chain from hook, just like before, like so. And then follow that by making another 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And at this point, chain 4, 2, 3, 4. In the second chain again, make your first slip stitch and then make a further 2. So 1 and 2. You will have again reached the original chain 8, and then you will make another 3 slip stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And again, to secure, chain 1, snip off your yarn and pull it through. So now you have your 2 little antlers. So once you know how you would like to place your antlers, you can go ahead and using your darning needle, you can sew them in place. I like to place them just above the eyes, between that second and third round that we created. So to give you an idea of how it is that you can sew them in place, you can just take your darning needle. It can be a slightly thinner one than this one, but this will do fine as well. And knowing that I want to put it this way, I'm going to take the yarn end that is closer to the right side, like so, and go through this round. And then I can go through and secure it, like so, like this. And I'll do the same with the other one. The other yarn end. Like this. So do this a few times to secure them in place. And do this as carefully as you can. And once you're happy with how secure they are, what I like to do is I like to take both yarn ends and pull them from the same stitch. And at that point, I make a little knot. So here I'll just pull this as tight as I can, and I'll do the same for the other one. And I'll go underneath my piece here, like so, and just try and come out with my darning needle from the same area, like so. Hopefully this was visible. And then once the yarn ends are pulled from the same part, I will just make a little knot. And then I'll take both or one yarn end and just pull them through another part of the ornament. And I'll either continue pulling them in and out and sewing through any gaps that I see, such as this one up here where I can slightly see my stuffing, or I will just go ahead and snip them off. So take your time with this part of the process. Make sure you're happy with how the antlers are looking. And once that's the case, just snip off your little yarn ends. Now I will go ahead and sew in this remaining yarn end, and then sew in place our other antler. And I'll meet you to show you how our Rudolph the Reindeer ornament is looking once he's finished. So there you have it. Our Rudolph the Reindeer mini Christmas crochet bauble is now ready, with his antlers and little Christmas loop ready to be hung in a Christmas tree or to be added as a gift tag. I think this is a very cute and easy and fast pattern to make for the holiday season. I hope you do try it, and if you do, let me know in the comment section below. I love to see your creations. And of course, if you want to make more of these mini Christmas crochet baubles, have a look at the playlist in the description box below. And as always, happy crochet!